So, yun na nga, as what I have said in the previous nga video na to, sa video 6.2, right? So, nag-end with remaining two discussion examples with internal forces. So, I've tried my best to shoot this discussion videos on duhangan habilin nga examples for you to internalize, okay? Internalize the internal forces concept, especially the skill of shear and moment diagram. Nga naman, because we're almost done with this course, all right? We still, I guess this would be the last topic siguro na to maistoryahan, or if kaya pa, we have to talk about centroids and moment of inertia, pero let's just give priority to this one, internal forces, because ang mga importante nga skills that you should be possessing, okay, o ang dapat ninyong adad-on as you go to your higher nga courses, especially sa structural courses, is aside from solving the reactions, okay, so dapat kabalo naman mo solve the reactions. One thing nga dapat ninyo practice on, or one skill that you should be practicing, is you need to be fast enough, maybe, okay? So dapat you should be able to solve different internal forces. So maski unsa nga loadings, you should be able to solve the internal forces at specific points, all right? And usa pa gyud is dapat kabalo mo always, okay? Himdumi na siya. Dapat makabalo mo kung how to solve the maximum shear and the maximum moment values on a specific nga loading of your beam. Okay? So dapat mahimduman nimo your reactions, kabalo ka mo solve sa reactions, kabalo ka mo solve sa internal forces, and you should be able to know what is the maximum shear and the maximum moments occurring at a beam. Okay? Kay mo na imong always yun na imong gamiton as you go along with your journey as civil engineering. Okay, so regarding itong third nga ako giingon nga maximum shear and maximum moments is kaya na nimo siya ma-achieve nga skill if you practice drawing, okay? So dapat ma-master ninyo how to draw your shear and moment diagrams, because again, dito na siya kuhaon nimo, right? So to do that is I will be trying my very best to discuss the two remaining examples by detail, okay, para at least ma-internalize yun ninyo kung what is the process of doing your shear moment diagrams. Okay, so again, na shear moment equation pod, shear moment equations, pero you can try that, pero para nako specifically is mas prefer nako ang kaning graphical, okay, kay since area ramang gud ni siya, so medyo di kayo mo malipad. Alright, so let's proceed. Okay, so this is the second to the last example. So example 6.6. Now we have to draw the shear moment diagrams. Now to do this one is we need to start with the reaction, of course. Okay, we need to solve your AY and your BY. And as you can see with the example, as you can see with the loading, is sure ka nga wala na siya X component at pin A, di ba? Pin because you will be having AX and AY there, kay pin man na siya. But since wala man tay X force na loading, okay? So mao na siya nga wala tay AX na to is equal to 0. Alright? So dili na ako siya i-discuss by detail, pero the reaction here is 500 and the reaction here is 3,400. Okay, let's just check if our answer, if sakto ba siya. This is 500, this is 3,400. Okay, 500 plus 3,400 is 3,900, right? So that's 3,900. What is the resultant force here? This is 1/2 of 6, that's 3, right? That's 1/2 of 6, that's 3. 3 times 400, that should be 1,200. The same here, that should be 1,200. So 1,200 plus 1,200, that should be 2,400. So 2,400 plus 1,500, that should be 3,900. So equal lang siya kay 3,900 downward and also 3,900 upward. So Again, you can solve the reaction there kaya na ninyo para makaproceed ta sa atong shear and moment diagrams. Okay, so let's go here. So let's start with your load diagram. Tingnan naman kita always mag-start. That should be your load diagram. Okay. So for your load diagram is we just need to state your forces acting. All right. So let's identify the dimensions. We have your AY upward. That is 500, right? That's 500. Tapos we have your triangular loading here with an intensity of 400 pound-feet. So the same gihapon, that should be the same length, 400 pound-feet. Then after diha is na po tayo pasaka na 3,400. Okay, you start with the load diagram. Then lastly is medyo sobra lang siya para medyo drawn to scale po na siya. Then lastly is natay downward force na 1,500. Okay? So again, the reaction is kaya na ninyo siya isolve. So isolve na siya in different na process. Okay? Kabalo na mo ana. So ako na siya tuntangon because we all need your load diagram. So nanatay load diagram diri. Sorry. So your load diagram is din ato i-appeal diri, okay? Remember nga i-appeal ninyo tanan kung naka-distributed load ayaw siya i-reduce into a concentrated force. Kung distributed na siya as is distributed, then you include the reactions, all right? Ang tanan ng mga reactions, and then marto, okay? Kung na moments, din i-appeal po si moments. Then after that, we need to solve draw your shear diagram. Alright? So, mo gihapon ay wala ta nakalimutan sa mga distances. This is 6. This is 6 feet na ang unit ha. This is also 4. 4 ba? Yeah, 4. Okay, so ako lang siya i-project. Paubos. Para equal lang ato ang distance. Okay. So again dari ang imura technique nga hinumduman, okay? To draw your shear moment diagram is ang imuha lang murag ang two things lang yung imong hinumduman is first, you know how to solve different areas, okay? You know the areas of different mga shapes or mga bisag unsa nga shapes, all right? Mga parabolic man na, cubic, okay? Ato na discuss before ang mga different type of areas, mga triangle, of course, kabalo naman na rectangle, trapezoid. So, mula na yung hinduman. Ikaduha is kato ang table. Ito yung table ganing nga kung first degree siya, mahimo siyang second degree, mahimo third degree. So, kato ra yung hinduman, ang duha ra ka jud kabuok. So, if kabalo na ka ato, then medyo di na kay ka maglisod. Alright? Kaya nga naman, we will know that later. So, to draw your shear diagram first is, again, tanan nga upward forces are positive, tanan nga downward forces are negative. So, let's start with point A. Okay, point A man siya. So, ato lang sa lilabelan. This should be point A. This is point B. So, diri na lang si point C. Diri si point D. So, C, B, and D. Okay. So, tanan nga upward forces automatic ibutang din sa babaw. So, at point A na ana dayon tay 500. So, that should be positive 500. Something diha na lang. Okay? So, this should be positive 500. Then, after that one is, since mo na siya, segment to segment jud ka, from A to C is gradual man ang iyang change. Kaya naman, dili man nimo siya pwede idiretso A to B, sorry. Di man siya pwede idiretso A to B. Kaya naman, naman siya sudden change at point C, di ba? So, para gradual ang change, you need to solve it segment by segment. So, from A to C na siya. Kaya again, diha man nag-imuhang distributed load. Alright? So, from A to C, so therefore, mga ko mag-start sa segment point C. Okay? So, therefore, the shear at C, di ba? The shear at C is equal to the area of the loading from A to C. Okay? Plus the shear at A. Di ba? Mao na ang atong rule. So, therefore, we need to solve the area, okay? The area of the loading diagram from A to C. Then, we need to add the original shear at A. Alright? Okay, this would be the change man change in shear ba based ato ang definition. This would be the change in kanang delta shear. Okay, delta shear na siya. Okay, so to solve the area is very simple lang na siya. That is 1/2 of the base times height. So that should be negative 1, 2. Ano negative 1, 2 man? Okay? The area is equal to negative 1/2 of the base, which is 6, times negative 400. So, yung negative 400 man? Again, this is a downward distributed load. Again, tanan nga downward is negative. So, negative dapat na siya. So, negative 1/4, negative 1/2 of 6, that's 3. 3 times negative 400, that should be negative 1, 2. So, therefore, the area is negative 1, 2. Ako na siya i-delete. Then, therefore, the area would be negative 1, 2. So, negative 1, 2 plus the shear at A. What is the shear at A? That is 500. So, that should be 500. So, negative 1, 2 plus 500, that should be negative 700. So, somewhere na dire. So, ako na siya ipadayon. So, this should be negative 700. Now, the question. Okay, so, muna siya. Ang imuhang first skill is imo na siya gigamit. Nga naman, kabalo naman ka mosolve og areas different shapes. Alright? Or different ka mga forma. So, kung kabalo na ka ato, so nanakay makakuha na ka direct mga values. Ikaduha, sir, unsa ko siya pag-connect? Unsa ko pag-connect si A ug si B? Okay, the shear at A and the shear at C. Unsa ko siya pag-connect? So, ang imong hinumduman karon is ang table. Okay? Hinumdumi that this load diagram here is on the first degree. Ngano first degree man na, that is a diagonal line. So, you expect that the shear diagram, the curve of the shear diagram would be a parabola to the second degree. Diba? That is based on the table. Okay? So, kung parabola, unsa may parabola ana, sir? Ana, okay? Or ana, concave or unsa na siya? Concave upward, concave upward or concave downward. So that would be your question. So ang imong himduman karon diha is napadi usa katong mga rule gani. Okay, tulo to siya. Ang una is area, dapat ka mo sa area. Kaduha, hinumduman to nimo ang katong table nga kung gihimo. Alright? Then ikatulo is katong rule. Okay, unsa tong mga rule, sir? Katong kung unsay slope at this point. For example, what is the slope at point A? That is equal to the intensity at the load diagram. Okay, kaya nga naman, that would be used kung unsaon nimo pag-connect ng imong mga points. Okay, para mas makagets. Sir, unsa mo lang ito? Ang imong pangutana karon is concave downward or concave upward nga parabola. Wala ka kabaloan na. So, unsa mo pagkabalo? Ngadto ka mabalik sa definition. What is the definition? The slope at the shear diagram, okay? The slope at the shear diagram is equal to the intensity of the load diagram. Okay, again, the slope of your shear diagram is equal to the value or the intensity of your load diagram. So from point A, okay, therefore the slope at point A for the shear diagram, okay, the slope at point A of the shear diagram is equal to the intensity of this point A sa load diagram. Now, what is the intensity at point A? That is equal to 0. Kay triangle man na siya. Diba? Nag-triangle man na siya. 0 diri sa A, 400 sa C. So, therefore, the intensity of at A is 0. So, therefore, the slope at A is 0 pod for your shear diagram. So, kung makaingon kag 0 slope, horizontal na siya. Diba? Kung 0 slope gani ang line, a line with 0 slope is a horizontal line. Then, about the 700. This is negative 400. Again, negative na siya kay downward. So therefore, the intensity at point C is negative 400. Therefore, the slope here is negative 400. Now, what is the slope of a line? I mean, what is the line that has a negative slope? Diba? That is a line that is leaning to the left. Nakaana. Okay? Ato pa dong. To the left. Alright? To the left. So, leaning to the left. Okay, to the right, that is a positive slope. So therefore, if that is negative 400, medyo nakainana ra na iyahang slope, or dili kayo steep, mga medyo lang na siya, iyahang slope. Then, di ba your slope, hinamdumi sa inyong differential calculus, the slope, right? Ang inyong slope diha, instantaneous slope, that should be tangent to the curve. Okay? Tangent na siya sa curve. Therefore, at point A, tangent diha imong curve, tangent siya. Tapos dili po, tangent po imong curve diri. So therefore, kaya mo na siya subayon, kung tangent na siya, that would give you a parabola that is concave downward. Di ba? So, mo na siya. So therefore, inana ang forma sa imong load diagram, shear diagram. Okay? So, this is your shear diagram at this point. So, muna siya. That is your from segment A to C. So now, what is the shear at B? Okay? What is the shear at B? Same gihapon, the shear at B is equal to the area, all right? The area from C to B plus the shear at C. So what is the area from C to B? So nanaputay lahi nga triangle na po, di ba? Nanaputay lahi nga triangle, kani nga triangle. Now what is the area of this? The same gihapon, the area is negative 1,200. So therefore there should be negative 1,200 plus what is the shear at C? The shear at C is negative 700. So therefore, what is the shear at B? That is equal to negative 1,900. Therefore, naani siya somewhere diri. Kung siya i-project diri pa ubos, that should be negative 1,900. So, same gihapon. Sir, unsa na ko siya pag-connect? Oops. Unsa na ko siya pag-connect, sir? Same gihapon. The intensity at C, that should be the slope of your shear diagram. So therefore, dili na ka mo consider sa negative 400 ha. Okay, human naman na siya. Segment A to C man na siya. Lahi na punta sa sunod na po yung segment C to B. What is the intensity at point C of the second segment? Okay, sa kaninga segment. What is the intensity? Di ba zero na po na siya nibalik? Okay, so therefore zero na po na siya, mga horizontal na siya. Diri, what is the intensity that is negative 400, right? That's negative 400 gihapon. So somewhere naghapon na siya. Di kayo steep, pero negative, meaning leaning to the left. So, tangent diha, tapos tangent po dito. Therefore, na siya. Okay, dili kayo siya parabola, pero just to emphasize lang the parabola na siya. So, that is your shear diagram from point C to B. So somewhere inana na siya. Okay? Sa among problem sets before, when I was studying, is among gamiton pang shade diri is lapis. Okay, mas nindot mo siya tanawin kung naka-shade siya. Okay. Then after that one is, okay, so at point B di ay okay. At point B, kaganina, wala na ko na-explain. May kaingon ka nga, sir, may namanggoy concentrated force diri sa point B, so asa may unahon na po. Okay? So, obviously, nga mag-una ka sa imuhang distributed load. Yan naman, sa distributed load nimo is naka-distribute siya. So, meaning, unahon na to ang distributed load. Then, si concentrated load, isa ito na siya gamiton at that specific point kung asa siya naka-concentrate. So, therefore, what is the shear at B? Okay? Since na naman tayo 3,4, automatic, negative 19 plus the shear dire. Okay, the load here. So, negative 19 plus 3,4. Ano plus 3,4 man? Because that is a upward force. Okay, that is an upward force. So, positive. So, negative 19 plus 34, pila na siya? Negative 19 plus 3,400, that is equal to positive 15. So, somewhere diri, that is positive 15. So, ato na siya i-connect. So, gikan sa 19, nisaka siya darin diretso og 15. So, abrupt iyahang change. From negative 19, nahimo din siya og 1,500. Kaya nga naman, naamang gutay reaction diha. So, nikalit na siya taas. Then, pag abot na pod, segment C2D, wala man tayo distributed load, di ba? So, wala tayo change. So, pag abot, pag padon niya dito, wala siya nasugatan niya load, 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 wala siya nasugatan niya load until niabot siya ni point D. Kaya nga naman, pag abot sa point D is na siya nasugatan na pod nga force which is 1,500 and directed downward. So that would be negative force. So 1,5 pag abot diri sa point D is minus 1,5. So 1,5 minus 1,5, that is equal to 0. So mabalik siya to 0. And therefore this is your shear diagram. Right? Motong gingon sa table nga if that is a concentrated force, pag abot sa shear diagram is mahimo siyang flat line. Diba? So flat line na siya kung concentrated force. So that is your shear diagram. Now we can now solve what is your Vmax. Your shear maximum is equal to, obviously, that is negative 1,900 pounds. Okay. Nain man ang color. Ano na lang. Okay, that is negative 19. So now, nga rin nata ni moment diagram. Moment diagram. So let's just project. Okay. For solve your moment diagram. Sa ko lang siya dire. Okay, same gihapon. This should be our point A, our point B, our point C, and our point D. So, since wala man tayo, okay, since wala man tayo moments, wala man tayo couple moment at load diagram, so therefore wala tayo ma-reflect dire. At point A, okay, at point A, naaba tayo moment, couple moment at A, di ba wala? So therefore, automatic, our first value here would be 0. Okay, wala man tayo moment, wala man tayo couple moment sa babaw. Alright? Then, what is the moment at C? Okay, what is the moment at C? Dili pa na mo siya madiretso, alright? Dili pa na mo siya madiretso kay you have sudden change in the shear diagram. Diba? Kapag iingon nga, dili ka pwede magdire-diretso kung naakay masugatan yung mga changes. So therefore, imo na po siya i-segment by segment. So mag-cut na po ka diri nga part. Okay? Kay nag-sudden change man ka diha. So let's call this as our point E. So dili ka makalahos-lahos diri at point C. Kay again, naakay sudden change at E. Alright? So first is we need to solve the moment at point E. Now, what is the value at point A? What is the distance at point E? Wala ta kabaloan ni nga distance. Say, let's make this as X. Pero, okay, how to solve your X? So, sama na siya. So, ang imong duman diha nga, kabalo ka nga at point E, okay, at point E, the shear is equal to 0. Diba? Kabalon, I know kabalon naman na because that is basic sa algebra. Your X-intercept, that is your y is 0, diba? X-intercept when the value of your y is 0. So, during a part, ang ato ang y is a shear man. So, therefore, this would be our x-intercept. Kaya nga naman, 0 man ang ato ang shear. So, what is the distance where 0 shear occurs? So, usapod na siya ka-importante nga nung, sorry, that is one of the importance nga nung need ka shear moment diagram is nga tumang ka makabalo kung asa diri nga part ang 0 shear, asa diri nga part ang maximum shear, 0 moment, and the maximum moment. So, muna yung mga ma-identify if you have your shear moment diagram. And you already know kung asa siya nga location dapit sa imuhang beam. So that is the importance kung ano natay shear and moment diagram. Alright, so let's go back here. How to get the distance x where your zero shear occur. So let's just go back sa imuhang shear and moment diagram. So dirita. Okay. Let's use this segment AE. Okay, so ako siya i-project sa babaw. Okay? This would be our point E. Diba? Your shear at E is equal to the area, diba? The area of your load diagram from A to E plus the shear at A. Diba? Mao na ato ang rule nga the shear at E is just simply the area of this load diagram. Okay? Kaning naka-rainbow. Alright? So what is the area here? You need to add the shear at A para makuha nimo ang shear ni A. So that's basic, master na ninyo along the way. So what is the shear at E? This is equal to 0. Kabalo ka nga 0 na siya, the shear at E. Now what is the area of your AE? Kabalo ka nga this is our x, kaya anoon man ni siya. So let's say this is our x and this is our y, your height. So let's just express y in terms of x by ratio and proportions. Kani nga triangle over kani nga triangle. Okay. Your x over y, okay, your x over y is equal to, ang equivalent ni x sa whole nga triangle is 6. Ratio and proportion na siya, 6. Then your y sa babaw is negative 400. Okay, negative 400 na siya because that is a downward force. So therefore, what is the value of your y? Your y is equal to negative 400 x over 6. So therefore, na natin value ni y. Now, what is the area of this shaded nga region? The area here would be 1/2 of the base, which is x. Diba? Ano mo na siya? The height would be y, which is negative 400 x over 6. Plus, what is the shear at A? That is 500. So therefore, this would be, pila ni siya? Negative 400. Parita ni calculate. That should be negative 400 over 2 times 6, that is 12. So that is negative 100 over 3 x squared plus 500. So therefore, we can solve your x here. You can just use your mode 5, mode 5 2, mode 5 3 die, mode 5 2, mode 5 3. Your mode 5 3, coefficient of your A is negative 100 divided by x, divided by 3. 0 ta sa B, then ato constant would be 500. Your x is square root of 15 and negative. Obviously, dili na to pwede magamit si negative square root of 15 because we don't have negative distance. Kaya distance man ni siya. So therefore, we have square root of 15 ang ato ang x. So I hope na nakagets. Our x here is equal to square root of 15. Therefore, okay, I hope na nakagets kayo sa ito pagkuha si x. So therefore, our x here would be square root of 15. Now, what is this distance? This would be 6 minus square root of 15, obviously. Okay? So, nanatay value ni x. So, therefore, at square root of 15, pila na siya ang square root of 15? Mode 1. Square root of 15, that is mga 3 ata ni siya. Yeah, 3.87. So, from 3 feet, 3.8 feet, na niya mo kursi 0 shear. So, muna yung usa ka importante or importance ni shear diagram. Okay? So, next. The moment at A, ganito, bakit ni moment diagram? The moment at E, okay? The moment at E is equal to the area of your shear diagram from A to E plus the moment at A. Now, okay, what is the area at A? Kani nga area, kani siyang area from A to E. So mo ta hinduman nga you should be mastering kung unsay area sa mga different shapes or different nga mga sections. Okay, na in this case, this is a parabolic nga segment, di ba? Because again, kabalo man ta nga this is to the second degree, so parabolic segment na siya. Now, what is the area of a parabolic nga segment? The area of a parabolic segment is 2/3 of the base times height. Alright, so I don't have to discuss that because that is a very common nga formula. Giderad na siya using calculus. Alright, so okay, so mo na siya 2/3 base times height. So in this case, what is the area of this shaded region kanin sa babaw? That is equal to 2/3. The base is pila ni siya. This is our base, that is equal to the square root of 15. Right? The height is pila height na to dire? This is 500. So therefore, what is our area? The area would be 2/3 of the base, which is square root of 15, and then the height would be 500. Our area would be 1,291 plus the moment at A, which is 0. So therefore, the moment at A is 1,291. So somewhere there. 1,291. Okay, so nanatay moment at E. Now, the question karon is, sir, saan ako siya pag-connect? So, very easy. Magyapon, the intensity of the value of your shear, alright? The value of your shear, that would be the slope of your moment diagram. So, pila yung shear at A? The shear at A is positive 500, diba? That is positive 500, so that is leaning to the right. So, somewhere na kayong nana. What is the shear at E? That is 0, so therefore 0 slope. So, tangent dire, tangent po dito, imo na siya i-connect. So, ingon ana ang imuhang pag-connect. So, usa pa dahil sa imong manhumduman dire. From point A, okay, consider segment AC. Okay, consider segment AC. From A to C, E, alright, which is nasa tunga ni A ug C, di ba? Nasa tunga si point E is nasa tunga ni A ug C. Now, since E has 0 shear, if you are going to compare the moment diagram from A to C, E will give you the maximum moment. Okay, so usa na sa imong hinumduman nga kung asa ang imuhang maximum, kung asa ang imuhang 0 shear, alright, kung asa ang imuhang 0 shear, ngadto pod mo occur ang imuhang maximum moment. Alright? Not really the maximum moment of the whole beam, pero naay probability pod nga siya pod ang maximum, pero not all times. Pero in this case, kung ato consider ang segment AC, okay, sa segment AC is ni cross man gud siya, ni cross siya og sa beam sa ato ang 0 sa atong x-axis, so therefore naa diha ang 0 shear. So ato siya i-compare from A to C, si E ang pinakadako og moment. Siya ang maximum moment diha nga part. Alright? So how are we going to solve your moment at T? Okay. So we just have to, okay, please be careful with this one because you might think that this would be a parabolic spandrel. Okay, ilang sa spandrel katong area would be 1 over n plus 1 AB kat kani nga area. Okay, kani nga area to gi-discuss last time. Kana siya. Okay? So please be careful nga dili nimo siya pwede gamiton nga formula. Ano man sir? Because pwede ra nimo gamiton nga formula if your vertex is at the origin. Or should I say, kanina na para mas ma-simplify, imo ra na siya magamit kung ang imuhang slope at this point is 0. Meaning, if this is your x-axis, this is your y-axis, ang katong formula nga pag-derive sa spandrel, diba, this is your spandrel, that has the area which is equal to 1 over n plus 1, with this is your A, And this would be your h, or your height. So this would be AH over n plus 1. So therefore, if you have a parabolic na spandrel, so that should be 1/3 of AH, diba? Kay 2 plus 1 raman ta. Pero dili ito nimo siya pwede magamit sa ato problem dire. Kay ang point E is not a zero slope. Okay, dili siya zero slope ko naman. If you are going to consider ang value nimo dire, okay, if you are going to consider, dili ni siya zero because again, kabalo man ka, dili ni siya zero kay whatever the slope the slope here is equivalent to the intensity here, di ba? That is the explanation. Kung unsay slope nimo dire, that is equivalent to your intensity here. So therefore, sure ka nga dili gyud zero ang slope ani niya. Alright? So therefore, dili nimo pwede magamit ang kaninga formula kay your vertex nag-ana man ni ang ato ang graph sa atong problem. This is our point A, this is our point C. Alright? Dili niyo pwede magamit because again, dili ni siya zero slope. Okay, dili siya zero slope. Unlike kung nakainana na siya, nakaana. Okay? Nakatangent siya diha. So, kani, pwede niyo magamit si 1/3 AH. Kaya again, zero slope man siya diha. Pero dire, di is na zero slope. Kaya based sa imuhang figure kaganina, right? Based po dire, makabalo ka nga, dili ni siya zero slope. Kaya again, dili man ni siya zero. Okay, di man ni siya zero, kaninga point. So, whatever the value here, that should be the slope here. So, therefore, dili niyo pwede magamit si spandrel in this case. So, unsa ko pag-solve si area at this problem, kay malangan man ka. Okay. Nga rin na masulod ang imuhang diskarte. Okay? Diskarte lang na siya. So, maski unsa nga buhaton, diskarte lang gyud ka kung unsa nimo pag-solve si area. Okay, how to solve this area? Di ba kabalo ani? Ang buhaton nato karon diri is, di ba kabalo man ta the area of this one? Okay? We know the area of this one. Kaning ay sorry. Delete. Wait a oops. Na. We know the area of this one. Kani siya. Di ba? So our problem here is, so ano natin siya pag-solve kaning area kaning akong naay nakabutang nga spandrel. Pero we cannot use the formula katong 1/3 AH kay this is not a wala siya sa vertex, wala siya sa origin. So we can just solve this area if, okay. Di ba pwede niya ito gamitin nga rectangle? Okay. Kana. Okay? So natay rectangle diri. 'Di ba if you are just going to observe lang. Kani nga area, say this is our A1. This is our A1. Tapos ang atong A2 would be, ang atong A2 is ang rectangle. Okay? Ang ato ang rectangle. Gets? Okay? Muna atong A2. So, the area, okay? The area, say this is our spandrel. Ato siya butang AS. Okay? The area of AS, siguro ako na siya i-delete kay para natay space. Your AS would be area 1 plus area 2. Okay, I hope mo nakagets. Ang A1 nato is kani siya, kaning green. Ang atong A2 is kaning naka-rainbow. Minus. Unsay ako i-minus? Di ba I can solve this area of this parabolic nga segment? Okay? Kaya na nako siya i-solve ang parabolic segment. Using the formula again, the area is 2/3 BH. Mura na siya, kung giyon sa nako pag-solve si A1, di ba? Naka-solve dara kaning si 1291, di ba? Kung giyon sa nako pag-solve si 1291, Kani siya. Okay? Kung giunsa nina ko siya pag-solve, that would just be the same. Okay, say ang atong area sa dako would be your A parabola. Okay. AP. That should be A1 plus A2 minus area of your parabola. Di ba? Kaning green plus kaning rectangle nga rainbow. Alright? Ako nitang tangon ang kaning parabola nga dako. Di ba ang mahabilin kay si AS? Di ba? So ang mo na i-discarding ang imo lang jud puhunan. Char. Ang imo lang jud puhunan diha is dapat swito jud ka sa mga different areas. Mangita jud paagi nga makasolve ko sa areas. Alright? Ang imo lang jud diri is dapat makasolve kag area. Mura na problema nimo. So discarding na lang din na siya. Alright? So AS would be what is the area of your A1? Na-solve na to. The area of the A1 is 1291. What is A2? How to solve A2? Di ba rectangle naman na siya? Rectangle that has width of 6 man ni siya. 6, yeah. That's 6. So this should be 6 multiplied by 700. Sir, wala lagi nimo gamita ang negative. Wala ako na ako gamita because again, I'm just considering the value of your area. Wala man negative nga area. So again, ako na siya i-consider as area gyud, wala ako nag-consider sa sign. Just plain area because again, that's the problem of muna to problema karon. Unsa ang pag-solve sa area AS? So 6 times 700, that is equal to your rectangle. So minus, okay, ako i-minus ang dako kaayo nga parabolic segment. That should be 2/3. What is the base of this parabolic segment? The base is 6. And the height is pila ni distance diri? Gikan diri padung diri. That should be 500 plus 700. So pila na siya? 1,2, right? So 1,200. Therefore, what is the area of this very small nga spandrel? That is 1291 plus 6 times 700 minus 2/3 of the base, which is 6. The height is 1,2. That is equal to 691. Okay? Therefore, the area here would be 691. Alright. So, nga rin na ako ibutang si negative. Sir, nga no, ingat alam ka nang butang og negative. Sure man ko nga negative area ni siya, nga naman siya sa ubos, di ba? Your AS is a negative area. Kaya naman siya sa ilam na x-axis. So, therefore, naana diya si negative 691. Alright. So, therefore, we can now solve the moment at C. The moment at C is equal to the area from E to C, di ba? The area from E to C plus the moment at E. Therefore, the area from A to C, from E to C is kanisha. That is our AS is negative 691. Di ba? That is the area. Plus, what is the moment at E? That is 1291. Therefore, what is the moment at C? That is 1291 minus 691. That is equal to 600. Okay, so therefore, this would be 600. Again, I know nga medyo naglibog mo, pero again, ang puhunan lang yun niya diri is, ang imuha ra gyud goal is makasolve ka og area. Okay, makasolve og area. Diri, depende na sa mo diskarte kung saan mo pag-solve, pero feel na ko wala na ilang diskarte diri, mo ra gyud siya again, hindi na ako siya matudlo sa nimo pag-diskarte. Basta, ang imong hinumduman, the goal lang yun is kabalo jud ka makuha og area. Because, di ba, based ato mga gipambuhat diri is, ang atong concern is area lang yun na siya. Okay? Area lang yun na siya. So, next, how are we going to connect these 2 points? Same gihapon, if this is negative 700, so therefore, negative 700 somewhere diha. Okay? Tapos diri, zero slope man na siya kay E. So, nara, zero slope. So, tangent diri, tangent po dito. Kana na siya. Okay? Next. How are we going to solve this, the moment at B? The moment at B is equal to the area from B to C, or from C to B na lang. From C to B plus the moment at C. So, how to solve your ACB? So, nga rin ako siya. ato ni siya i-zoom in. Na. So, kung imo na siya buhaton, di ba, you can zero slope man ni siya. Please data dire sa babaw. C. Yeah, oops. Zero slope na siya at point C. So therefore, if zero slope ni siya at 700, negative 700, we are sure that we can use this as a spandrel. Okay? What is the area of this spandrel? This is 1/3. Yeah. 1/3 of the base, which is 6. The height is, pilay height nato dire. If this is 19 and this is 700, pilay ni siya. 19 minus 700, that is 12. Okay? The height is 12. Therefore, what is the area of this spandrel? A very small spandrel. Kana siya. That is 1/3 of 6 times 9, 1,200. This is equal to 2,400. So 24 na siya. Then, we can also solve this area. Very easy na lang siya. Area na siya. Pila area na? That is 6 ni siya. And this is the height is 700. So therefore, the area is equal to 700 times 6, which is equal to 700 times 6, that is equal to 4,200. Therefore, what is the total area? Okay? The total area, or 80, ako nang siya ibutag 80. The total area is 24 plus 42. That is equal to 66. So, 66, that is negative 66. So, yung ano, negative 66 man. Because again, if ato na siya i-zoom out, okay? If ato na siya i-zoom out, kani nga area, okay? Kani nga area nga to gisolve ko ganina is below the x-axis. So, negative 66 po na siya. So, therefore, na nataman tayo area, so muna siya nga, sayo na siya because again, area lang napuhunan. So, muna yung problema na lang nimo. If maglisod ka sa area, you practice. Kay, mura na yung mapuhunan dire. So, the area at CB is negative 66. The moment at C is 600. Therefore, what is the moment at B? That is negative 6,000. So, somewhere there, maybe. Negative 6,000. So, sir, saan ako pa siya pag-connect? The same gihapon, what is the slope here? What is the slope here? That is negative 700. So, negative sloping downward. Nakainana. Slope here, that is, unsa? 19. So, naka-inana pod. So, therefore, if ano na siya i-connect, tangent diha, tapos tangent po ka dire. So, that is a what? If this is second degree, di ba? Second degree man ni siya. So, therefore, this would be a third degree. So, cubic nga graph. So, medyo mahaba-haba. Mani siya nga to ang moment diagram. Alright? So, what is the moment at D? The moment at D would be the area, alright? The area from B to D plus the moment at B. So, very easy. What is the area of your BD? Sa shear. The area would be, pila ni siya? Very easy. That is 1.5 multiplied by 6. Ay, 4 day ni siya. 4 man ni siya. That is equal to 6,000. Positive 6,000 kay naa sa babaw. So, therefore, what is the moment at D? That is positive 6,000. What is the moment at B? Negative 6. Okay. It's negative 6,000. So, therefore, the moment at D is equal to 0. So, therefore, mubalik ra gyud gihapon ka ni D, which is 0. Now, how are we going to connect this graph? The same gihapon, what is the value? Alright? What is the value at B? This is B. What is the value of B? The slope is positive 1.5. Wala na ako nagamit ni 1.9 ha, kaya nga ito man siya sa pika side. So, nga rin na po nga side is nga rin na po ko sa babaw. Kaya sudden change man ni siya. sudden change is 1.5. So 1.5, positive 1.5, so sloping to the left, so sloping to the right. So something nakaingon na. Okay, ayan na lang, banaban na lang. Then what is the shear at D? Obviously, the shear at D is 0, so horizontal. So nakaingon na siya. Okay? So therefore, this is our moment diagram. And now we can determine the maximum moment. The maximum moment, we have two moments there. We have the positive moment and the negative moment. So what is the maximum negative? The negative maximum moment is negative 6,000. Alright, kilonewton, pound-feet. Tapos the maximum moment positive is equal to 1291 pound. So therefore, these are the maximum moments. We have many negative nga maximum na puti positive nga maximum. Muna kinahanglan nato. Alright, so wala na siya. Ako lang siya i-zoom out para makita niyo yung tanan. This is our shear. Medyo nagkagubot na siya. Ato lang siguro yung pandilito ng uban. Subayon na nato. Okay. Okay, so that is our shear diagram. And this is our moment diagram. So from load diagram, muna ito load diagram. Okay, muna ito load diagram. Then nahimong yung aning shear diagram and yung aning moment diagram. Oops. Hubog mo siguro ni siya. Na. Makita ba tanan? Okay, so that is our load diagram, our shear diagram, and our moment diagram. Okay, so I hope na that's clear. Awa pa dito, wala pa natin ma-check if our answer is correct. Our answers are correct, rather. So what is our maximum shear? That is negative 19. Sorry, that's negative. That should be negative 19. Alright, that should be negative 19. Tapos maximum positive moment is 1291 and the maximum negative moment is 6,000 pound-feet. Okay, so that is your second to the last nga example. So ako lang siya i-delete. Okay, remove. Okay, so that is how we solve. That is how are we going to solve your moments and to draw your shear and moment diagrams. Okay, so I hope nga klaro ra, and then let's proceed to the second equation. Okay, so this is a prop beam with internal hinge. So ano na oras? Almost 1 hour na. Okay, so I'll just be posting a separate video for this one. Okay, medyo mataas-taas ng video if I'm going to solve this one. So I'm just gonna end my video here and I'll upload another video for this example. Example 6-7. Okay, so see you on the next video.